In this video, we're going to discuss the relationships between arcs and angles inside of a circle. So mostly that means we're going to be looking at these four situations. If the vertex is at the center, the angle equals the arc. If the vertex is on the circle, the angle is half the arc. The arc is double the angle. If the vertex is inside the circle, then we have two arcs, and it's arc plus arc divided by 2. If the vertex is outside the circle, the angle is arc minus arc divided by 2. And it's got to be the big arc minus the small arc. Okay, so looking at problem number 4, part A, I'm seeing that the one angle that we're given, that's 78, is on the circle. Okay, so that tells me something about this pattern right here. Remember, if the vertex is on the circle, we know that the angle is half the arc, or the arc is double the angle. All right, so keep that in mind. So looking at this picture, here's one thing we can do. So I've got this angle right here. So you should be able to tell me this arc right here. Okay, so get ready to tell me that arc, Stas, my friend. So that turned out to be 156. Now, Ashley, in addition to an angle, what we also have is a quadrilateral. Do you remember the rule about when you have a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle, which one of these other 3 angles should you be able to figure out really easily? The ones that are diagonal. So now, tell me how. So angle C, we should be able to know. What calculation would I have to do to figure that out?
156 minus 78.
Well, we don't actually need the 156, okay? Yes, 180. Yeah, these two angles across from each other should add up to 180. So if you subtract 78, what's that going to be?
102.
So that's 102. Okay, now that's one of the things we were supposed to find right there. Is the measure of angle C is 102 degrees. Okay, now moving on to Charlie. Charlie, we're supposed to also find arc LM. Arc LM is this red guy that I'm drawing right now. I hear you saying 116. Can you tell me how you got that? You said minus 180?
180 minus.
Oh, okay. 180 makes me nervous. That makes me think the 116 is not quite right. So look, if there was a diameter, all right, see the center right here? See how there are no lines going through the center? So that means we're not dealing with semicircles, okay? That if I don't have any semicircles, that means I need to deal with the whole circle. How many degrees is the whole circle? Just tell me what any circle.
360.
Right, a whole circle is 360. Now, can you see that we know all of the other arcs except for the red one? So what am I going to do?
360 minus 157.
That's right.
That also makes it 4, right?
Right, we need to do 360 minus the 156 and also minus the 64. So 140. Okay, does everybody agree with that? Okay, so this turns out to be 140. And that's what we were asked to find next. Okay, any questions about part A? Okay, Aiden, check this out. Aiden, they give us this angle right here. They give us this 58. Okay. You know what, even before we even do that, here's a shortcut because this comes up a lot, Aiden. When I look at this little image, if I look at it sideways, I think of it as a bow tie. All right, can you see what I mean? If I look at it vertically, it's like a very pointy hourglass. But either way, here's what I know. These angles that are like at the tips of the bow tie, those are always going to be congruent, okay? And same with these angles down here at the bottom, like this angle and this angle, those are always going to end up being congruent. Or if I look at it by the hourglass way of looking at it, these two blue angles are always going to be congruent, and these two yellow angles are always going to be congruent, okay? So right away, that allows me to know if angle C is 58. Aiden, can you tell me what other angle has to also be 58? Angle D, all right? Because they're on the same side of this hourglass bow tie situation. Okay, so these both have to be 58 together. So right away I know that angle D is 58. I don't really have to think about it. Okay, now they're going to ask me for arc DL. Okay, so this is going to take an extra step. Let me move over to Jack though. Jack, can you tell me either the answer or how to find the answer for arc LB? Can you, how would I figure out what the measure of arc LB is? Or do you need a hint?
I'm gonna need a hint.
Okay, I've got you. Focus on this angle right here. Okay? See how that angle is on the circle. When the angle is on the circle, what's the relationship between the angle? It doubles. All right, so take your cap. Boom. 116. All right, does everybody see that? Now, Karem. Now that I know that this arc is 116, get this stuff out of the way. Now you should be able to tell me what arc DL is going to be. How would I figure that out?
You subtract 180 from 1. You subtract 116 from 180.
Perfect. Okay. Karem understands that this is a diameter, so we're looking at a semicircle. So we would subtract 116 from 180. And what did you get, sir? 64. Okay. Any questions about part B? Okay. Read, we're on number 4, part C. All right, I'm going to come to you for this one, so be ready. Okay, read, I see a bunch of angles that are on the circle, all right? So have that relationship in your mind. If it's on the circle, the angle is half the arc is double the angle, okay? We're surely gonna need that a bunch. Okay, now, they're asking me, first they asked me for arc RS. So let me just ask you, how can we find that arc? Or let me know if you need a hint. Say again. All right, Reed says, we have the whole circle except for this missing part. So we're going to find it by subtracting from 360. So Reed said if we do 360, slide this over, minus 148 minus 112, that's going to be 100. So that's going to be 100. Okay? So, Stas, what is the measure of angle T going to be? Correct. So this angle is going to be 50. When it's on the circle, the angle is half the arc. So we know that's going to be 50. Okay. Ashley, coming to you. So we're looking at part D. The first thing they ask us for is the measure of angle T right here. At a glance, can you tell me what that's going to be, or do you need a hint? What, say that again? 90. That's exactly right. Can you tell me how you knew that was going to be 90? But how do you know? Like, it's a right triangle because it's 90, but how did they tell us it was a right triangle?
No.
Is there like a little box in there? All right, so you were just guessing because it kind of looked like it was 90,
Yeah.
but you don't have a numerical reason. Okay, Charlie, can you give me a numerical reason? Like, Ashley's right. This is going to be 90 degrees, but she was just eyeballing it. Can you tell me why it's 90? Why we know it's 90, Charlie? Charlie didn't know either. Can you tell me why this is 90? Why we know it's 90? Jack, can you tell me why we know it's 90 for sure? Not just because it kind of looks like it's 90. Why do we know it's 90? All right, head shake. All right, go ahead, Felix.
Because the line's in the center with the center point, so like it forms a semicircle. So
Semicircle, diameter. So, correct. See how this is a diameter, all right? Which means that this is a semicircle. So we're using that whole rule about, hey, if it's on the circle, then the angle is half the arc. But in this case, the arc is 180. So then half of 180 is 90. Okay? All right, so angle T is going to be 90. Now they want to know what angle D is going to be. Actually, let me open this up. Who can explain to me, you got to walk me through. Who can explain to me how to find angle D? Thomas, go ahead.
114 plus 180, or 360 minus 180 minus 114, 66, which is TB.
Wait, let me write that down so far. So we had 360. Well, in fact, we can just go straight to the 180 part,
Yeah.
right? So 180 minus 114, basically. Okay, 180 minus 114. Okay, that's 66. So we know that that's going to be 66. And then D is just half of 66. So that should be 33. All right, does that make sense, Charlie? All right, Charlie, you're still not off the hook, though. Yeah. Okay. All right. E. This one is inside the circle. It's not at the center, but it is inside the circle. So that means we're using that formula that says the angle is equal to arc plus arc divided by 2. All right, that's the inside the circle formula. Okay, so UTV. So the first angle that we're supposed to find is the one where I just put an X right now. So focus your eyes on this, this hourglass I'm about to draw. All right, I'm going to take the angle we're looking for and kind of make an hourglass out of it. And that's like my first hint to you, Charlie. So Charlie, set up the formula for me.
X equals 177 plus 55 divided by 2.
Correct. All right, what do you, so anybody, what's the final answer? 116. Okay, so we just found that the angle is 116. So this is 116 degrees. And these are vertical angles as well, so just in case I ever need it, this will also be 116. All right, so great. 116. Now, they also want angle UTC. All right, which is this angle right here, UTC. So Charlie, how can I find angle UTC, the angle I just highlighted in yellow? How can I find it? Or let me know if you need a hint.
Could you do the same formula? Or no? Like,
I could, I mean, I don't, at the moment, I don't have these arcs that are on the sideways. I don't have those arcs. I could probably figure them out. There's a quicker way.
oh,
All right, here's a hint, Charlie. All right, focus your eyes on this blue line right here. Okay, and then if I split it like this. Do you remember when we used to talk about linear pairs? We have two angles. This is a linear pair. I have two angles that make a straight line. So what should be the relationship between these two? What should they add up to? They should add up to 180, okay, because it makes a straight line. So how can I find the missing side then? 180 minus 116. So put that in your calculator for me. Okay, so what? So your answer was actually right.
yeah, it took longer.
Yeah, this is just a little bit quicker. Okay, so this should be 64 degrees. All right, for part F, this angle is outside the circle. So you know we're going to use the formula that goes angle is equal to arc minus arc divided by 2. Make sure you have these formulas memorized by the next time I lay eyes on you. Okay?
That'll be quiz day.
Okay. So Aiden, help me set up this equation.
X equals 115 minus x divided by 2
All right, you said x equals 115 minus x
divided by 2.
divided by 2. Okay, so there's a problem. See how we have two x's in there? That's one x too many. So we need a number for one of these things. Okay? Let me give you a hint. Here's the first hint, Aiden. We should be able to find this arc right here, like right away. All right, that is findable. Can you, with that hint, can you tell me how I could find that green arc?
115 minus 360.
That's right. Subtract 115 from 360. All right, because it's the rest of the whole circle. So if I go 360 minus 115, correct, 245. So we know that this green arc is 245. So now back to Aiden. Now, what am I going to put in the numerator of this little formula?
45 minus 115 divided by 2.
That's right. All right, go ahead and calculate that for me and tell me the final answer. Or does anybody have that all calculated out for me already?
187.
No.
65? Okay, so the outer angle is 65. Does everybody agree on that? Okay. All right, so that outer angle is 65. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Okay, so they asked us for the measure of angle Q. So that is the 65 that we just found. and they asked us for the measure of arc PTU. That's the 245 we found a minute ago. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.